Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to this afternoon's Talking Town. I wasn't going to say the number one Ipswich Town podcast, but after recent events, I'm not quite sure if I should say that anymore. It is the 30th of August. It is 1:30, and I'm, of course, joined by my two normal colleagues. First and foremost, let's get the parish notices out of the way. You can, of course, join us on this show as Jordan's done previously, Luke's done, Johnny's done previously. Just ask for the link in the chat box and I shall fire it your way. And of course you can, as we are already seeing in the message board to the right. Afternoon, Joshua. Good afternoon, Bradley. Good afternoon, Nick. And good afternoon, Andrew. I hope you are all well. And I hope we are all a little bit calmer, shall we say, after yesterday's result. Obviously, Town got beaten 1-0 in a friendly against Cambridge. I think we'll kick things off hearing from Town defender Adam Flatt's in the house. Things are going to pick up. He's bringing the banter, hopefully bringing the banter. But let's kick things off with a little bit of James Wilson post-Cambridge, and then I'll bring my friends in.
Yeah, it wasn't great today, to be honest. But hopefully we can learn from a few things that went wrong today, learn quickly before next week. And there's a few boys that got run-outs today that haven't played yet, so I think that's a factor as well. But yeah, of course, we're going to need to work on things before next week. I enjoy playing right back, so yeah, wherever I'm needed, I'll play.
James Wilson, playing right back. Not something I ever thought I'd say, hear or think, but that's the way it fell yesterday. Let's bring in this man here. Flash photography. The Moss. James Wilson, right back. What is that all about?
How many times have I heard, oh, we've got to be better, we haven't played well? Jeez, we're 3 games in pre-season. It's not exactly, yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, James Wilson, he should never play right back ever.
He's a bit of a, not exactly a mobile right back, you know, a bit immobile.
Is Genoa Danassian a mobile right back?
Oh, I feel sorry for Genoa Danassian. I think he's harshly treated by some section of the town faithful. We'll get into yesterday's game in a lot more detail, but it's been a bit of a mixed sort of week, right?
Yeah, we've had some strange comments when we're coming out of the club. You'd think, wouldn't you, this time of the season, you want everyone pulling in the same direction, players, fans, supporters. We're all going in different ways, aren't we, really?
Yeah, we are all going in different directions. And obviously, but, you know, so I introduced you properly. Obviously, you're obviously Richard Moss, off the radio. You've got your coaching badges. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we can get some tactical insight from yourself over this pre-season, because we've heard all sorts of various tactical people who may or may not have the skills and knowledge needed. Obviously, you have.
I wouldn't agree entirely with that. Look, it's football. Everyone's got an opinion. Who says mine and your opinions are right? You know, and Matt's opinions. We're just on here.
No one.
No, exactly. So we're just saying it as we see it. You know, and everyone's entitled to come on and comment and come on live if they want. So don't hide behind your computers and your phones and that. Be brave.
Well, and it's almost like I teed you up there, isn't it? You know, with a little plug, because that's exactly what it's all about. This is the platform to speak and to share. And as Nick says, almost an unwritten rule here. We're breaking. There's no club shirt. So hopefully, the man that's more popular than certain American presidents and certain pandemics can maybe help with that. I'm not sure if he can though. Hopefully that's not where this afternoon peaks for you, Matt.
Here I am, Twitter's most irritating person.
How you doing, Billy Bingle?
I'm all good.
Billy Mitchell.
That was mentioned as well. Billy Mitchell doesn't wear glasses. At least liken me to people that are wearing glasses, or maybe he does. I don't know. I'm not really a big EastEnders fan.
Good afternoon, Kempy. Hope you're well. Oh, boys. So what sort of week we had? Come on. What's been going on in town? We've had Photogate. We've had the Wolfie comments. I've even forgotten those. It's been such a busy week. We're sat
on those.
I know. We're sat a week away from the start of the season. If I had to ask you now, how prepared do you think you feel as a fan looking at your club? Obviously, I'll start with Matt. Just brought him in. Matt, how prepared do you feel for next week? For 2 weeks, but for next Saturday.
I think the Colchester game, I thought we were looking good. I feel like we were very unprepared.
Did he?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. We've seen the highlights of that.
I've changed my hat. I've changed the hat today. Don't worry, it's coming back. It's coming back when we win in the EFL trophy.
It hasn't. The last few games haven't been good, but I mean, we have played against higher opposition than we have normally, haven't we? We've had the Spurs game, we've had the West Ham game. We played Cambridge last season, of course, and drew 0-0. So we didn't score there last season either.
No. But it's again, Richard. It's mental areas. It's beating yourself. This time, it's a counter attack that undoes us. At West Ham, it's passing the ball to them. At Tottenham, same thing. Are you ready? Do you feel ready? Because you're many years old now. See
that goal yesterday. We've all probably seen it this morning. I'm older than you. Yeah, not as old as Matt.
No one is.
That goal that Cambridge scored, have you seen us counter-attack like that? I've not seen us do that for a good number of years, From our corner, he's absolutely skinned Tommy Smith down their left-hand side. And look, Paul Digby's there, ex-Town. But are we prepared? I would say on a scale of 5, I'd say we're about a 2.
Yeah, I'd agree somewhat with Kempy there. I wouldn't say it was Lambo Lotto, but I would say that yesterday's game reminded me very much of an old reserve sort of fixture. You had a mix of pros who perhaps had injuries coming back and young players. It was very much, if that 11 ever plays ever again, I'll be very surprised. If even 7 of the players play together in a first team fixture, not counting cups, I'll be very surprised. It wasn't a great sort of, this is Ipswich Town 11, but will Saturday coming bring that? Will Bristol Rovers be our finale pre-season, do you think?
There were 2 international players in that lineup yesterday, Martin. Hughes has got 11 caps for Wales, hasn't he? I don't know how many Judge he's got for Ireland. And then we spent almost £1 million on Donatian, and Wilson's I think Wilson's even played for Wales. Maybe there's three internationals there. But I thought maybe that squad, that team we saw yesterday might have been the style of team we could have seen for the Bristol Rovers game. But I think maybe Richard's now made the point yesterday, didn't he, that his favoured midfield 3 of Dazelle, Downs and Bishop is probably going to be the one that we see next week.
Well, I think fitness permitting, you've got to use that game next Saturday. You've got to be playing as close to your first 11, because I wouldn't have thought the Arsenal under-23s in the EFL Trophy, I wouldn't have thought they'd be playing your first team in that game. You sort of might see a similar team to yesterday. But I think we need to be playing your first 11, getting your partnerships together all over the pitch.
Mills' favourite word, partnerships.
Yeah, you have to. You could probably pick goalkeeper's a bit of a toss-up. Back 4, I think we could all pick that. Your 3 midfielders, I think they're nailed on. And then your strikers is sort of, it depends who's going to be fit, doesn't it, really?
It does. Yeah, no, it does. Shall we kick things off with what's got you go and then get going?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. What's got our go this week, gentlemen? Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Go for it.
Right, so July the 8th, we all had an email, didn't we? Refunds. So you could either donate to the academy, you could have your money back. I've got mine back and it's spread over my direct debit. Or you could have vouchers to use to spend in the club shop. Now, this is July the 8th. We are just shy of the 1st of September, and people are still not received their vouchers, and in 2020, surely, why are we waiting for the printers? Surely you could do it with an e-voucher, something like that, that it's communication. as far as I'm concerned, and it doesn't surprise me because I think the communication throughout the club is really, really poor. And I was just going off on a little one. So we're coming back to, it's going to be £10 for the iFollow games. Season ticket holders get them for free, right? So Peterborough, who we do bang on a bit about Matt, and you'd think we're posh fans. So Peterborough, season ticket holders, I wrote it down, will have the difference to the price paid for their season tickets pro rata added to their account in club cash for each home league fixture that takes place behind closed doors. For example, an adult seated season ticket bought at £439, so it'd be £19.09 a game. They would get £9.09 back in club cash. Now, spot on. I know I'm going off a little tangent here with the vouchers, but then you go to the iFollow. Look, it could be 2 games. Hopefully, we see yesterday Brighton obviously had the test event, which was fantastic to see. And I was watching a little bit earlier. I turned on the French league. They've got fans there, socially distanced. So I watched Friday night. I was a bit surprised about that. So me and you, we've got season tickets. Martin's got a season ticket. If we had 5 games, we're getting done. We've been done.
I mean, we always seem to be really slow out of the blocks, don't we? I mean, they've had kind of 6 months to 5.5, 6 months to kind of sort all this out. It's going to lead into my goat in a minute, so I don't want to say too much. But we always seem to be bottom of the pile for someone.
Look, there's Nick Muller. I was told vouchers will come with the new season ticket. Are we even getting new season tickets, or are we using last season's one? Yeah, we don't know. It's communication, and it shouldn't be that hard, should it really? I know, look, they've had staff furloughed, but there should be a little bit of a line of communication between the club and the fans so people know what's going on. You don't have to keep tweeting them to find out an answer. Yeah. And then they don't reply to you. And then you might get a reply 5 days later. It's just it's not good enough. Exactly.
I think Adam's hit the nail on the head there. We're waiting on Evans to authorise toner for the printers.
Yeah, but come on, Matt. Should we really be printing vouchers out in?
It does seem a little bit. It does seem a little bit Mickey Mouse, doesn't it? What was the point I was going to make? What was it? So the season tickets, we don't know if we're getting that. They're printing vouchers, and then what was it? Oh, you couldn't use your club cash, whatever it was, online.
No, you've got to go into. I think with these, even with say the vouchers, you've got to go into the shop to use them. Yeah. You can't use them online.
What about
Ipswich Town up in Manchester, whatever?
Can I just ask a question? Because what about clubs or fans in a multiple person occupancy that have got 4 or 5 season tickets?
Well, I've got 4. I've got 4 season tickets.
So my dear old nan, she's got herself, and then my cousin who lives with her because he's just lives with her. So they're both getting iFollow £10. Brilliant, but they'll sit down together and watch it. So what's the other person getting as a benefit? Like, it's okay giving us the iFollow for home season tickets, but what really are you getting?
Peterborough did want to give the away games as well. I was reading, but they obviously under the EFL rules they're not allowed to do it. So people saying we should give the season ticket holders away games. Yeah, good idea, but there you go. ITFC Prime, massive lack of communication from the top. And does it surprise you? No, it doesn't.
No. Not one bit.
It comes down to this skeleton staff that we don't know 100%, but I think there's a skeleton staff at the club because of the furlough and all that kind of thing. And I still think the lines of communication, the hierarchy of the staff and all that kind of thing, I think it's all in the muddle.
I just feel sorry for people obviously she's my nan, so I'm going to feel a little bit more sorry for her, but she's 71. She supported the club since she was very young. And when she was asked about a season ticket, she didn't blink. She supported the club because she loves the club. Is she being met in return by our multi-millionaire owner? Because she's paid out a season ticket for her and my cousin who lives with her, but they're both just getting iFollow. Like, it's have it, no questions. It's come on. Fans have stepped up here when you asked them to. Again, she didn't take a refund. She left the money with the club. Much to my, don't do that.
It was like the West Ham game, Martin. You were looking for the stream, and then we find out it's being covered in Italy. So obviously the club have been paid a fee for that, and then they're charging £10 for. It wasn't even West Ham's full first team, was it? And there's other clubs doing it, giving it away for free, friendlies away for free.
Yeah. Well, Wycombe, and I don't care what you say about Wycombe being in the Championship. We were a couple of years ago, and not much has changed from today than 4 years ago, for example. 4 years ago, we would have played West Ham, and if it had been this current climate, it still would have been £10. So I'm not having the old people tell me they're in the Championship, they've got more money. Tosh. Matt, what's got your goat this week, my friend?
Well, mine kind of leads on from this, really. That we had well, I mean, in hindsight, maybe we got off lucky, but there was no stream for the game yesterday, and we weren't really told, as far as I know. Maybe one of the guys in the comments can tell me why there was no stream, and we've been starved of football since March. The other games have been shown. We saw the brilliant coverage at Spurs. We showed the game at Pullman Road for a West Ham game. Now, I've been to the Abbey Stadium. I think it's still called that at Cambridge. It's not the best. It's borderline League Two into non-league, and of course, they've floated between those two divisions before. So maybe the facility wasn't there for the stream. But I would like to see maybe Ipswich push the boat out a little bit. Maybe Marcus Evans, I want to push the boat out a little bit and give the fans something. Yeah, we can watch our last pre-season game, and whatever it's going to cost. I don't think it costs that much. Maybe £3,000 tops. And if we all paid a £5 or something, I mean, that would have covered the costs. You ain't going to be making a profit off this. But I look at teams like Leicester, and when they had Kunvichai, God rest his soul, when he was the chairman, and now it's gone over to his son, they're pushing the guys at King Power, pushing the boat out for Leicester fans all the time. Thank you for your support.
Giving stuff away, weren't they?
It's the chairman's birthday. Yeah, it's chairman's birthday. Here's a cupcake. Here's a free beer when you arrive at the stadium. Fantastic. Those little gestures go a long way. You remember when Lambert stuck his hand in his pocket and put some money behind the bar for supporters if they turned up at the fan zone at between 12 and 1 or something? Those little gestures go a long way. So I'd like to have seen Ipswich just sort of think to themselves, or even just have said why we can't do it. We've tried to do it. We've tried to get a gantry there, whatever it might have been. But nothing.
We'd have missed out, though, on that great commentary, Matt, because it was really incisive, wasn't it? Wolfendale and Dabler. I think McCann was in midfield. I'm thinking, who are these players? I've never heard of them. We made some new signings.
I'm sure it's very difficult to commentate on radio and there's no crowd to feed off, but it's just so dispiriting. We weren't playing very well. It sounded like last of the summer wine, didn't it? Them two fellas commentating.
I didn't listen.
Put a glass eye to sleep, Martin. We would have put a glass eye to sleep. In fact, he nearly sent Rich to sleep, I think. He got woken up to do his shopping. I've
been up since... Don't tell me about that shopping. I nearly left that mask at home, Matt. Nearly 40 weeks in the car.
And that man's got some great energy. Right, I'll move it on. My goat this week isn't football related. I've been making mug cakes this week, right? I've been getting into mug cakes. Okay. Don't laugh too loudly. But it won't piss in set. Whatever I do, I follow the instructions to a T. I've gone from a mug to a bowl to a pan or to a tin. It just won't set on me. It just will not set on me. So every time I make one, it's just wet in the middle. Some would say a bit like our midfield. But being about the football,
Have you got the right ingredients? We'll go back to that carrot cake with Victoria Sponge ingredients. Are you using the right ingredients?
Oh mate, I found this great recipe. It's a yogurt mug cake. It is the best thing in the world. Ask me on Twitter for it. Anyway, who's going next? Crunchers, tackle, or media mogul? What are we doing?
I don't mind. Get on Cruncher.
I'll play Stuart Taylor first.
Stu, thanks for joining us. The final out in a pre-season at Cambridge. How do you assess that?
Yeah, it was disappointing, obviously. The final score, which we don't look at final scores in pre-season, it's a performance. But the performance was poor as well, so really disappointing for us in every aspect today. But what it does do is it makes the manager's decision that little bit easier for going into the first game of the season. And hopefully it's given a few of the lads a kick up the bum that's needed before they go into.
Blimey, inspiring. Right, so crunching tackle this week is Paul Lambert and his rather strange comments. So last week we had the James Norwood needs to prove himself. This week we had Luke Wolfenden, I think has got to start to get going to perform, which I find at the minute with our centre-half sort of struggles is a real weird comment, Matt. And then Wolfie posted a popular confused GIF on his Twitter, since deleted. So then I've had a comment, sort of from Vicky Henderson. So it's not a question as such, just an observation. Very worrying if reports are to be believed that Paul Lambert is already alienating team players. He says, play the youngsters, but then favour senior players. 2 weeks before the start of the season, these are not the stories I want to hear. I'm becoming more and more convinced that he's not the man for the job. I hope I'm proved wrong. And we could go into the treatment of the youngsters with the photo. I think you might be covering that. But these sounds, surely Luke Wolfenden, it doesn't need to be reported in the local press. He can have a quiet word with him on the training ground, say, look, Luke, you're a bit laid back, because I think he's admitted himself, hasn't he, that he's a little bit laid back and needs a bit of a rocket sometimes, but he doesn't need to go to the press. And then we're talking about it, and then Twitter's talking about it, and it'll all snowball when fans' patience with Lambert is a little bit thin. I think I'm pushing the boat out a little bit there, so it's a little bit thin. And it doesn't help, does it?
No, it doesn't. But I mean, I think, the local media, East Anglia, are sort of going through, with a magnifying glass through Lambert's quotes to find what they can spin into a story. I mean, you're right. Wolfenden has even gone on record himself to say, I've been a bit of a space cadet in the past. I actually don't think there's anything wrong, having just given him a 4-year contract, to say you need to get going. This is now what's expected of you. Because, look, we didn't finish in the top 2. We didn't finish in the top 3. We finished 11th in League One.
Does it need to be reported, though?
Well, I mean, that's on the EADT, isn't it?
Not for me. It's quiet word in the ear. You don't need to put that in the press. I just think that's real, because you're going to use it. Lambert, people are going to use it as a stick to beat him.
Maybe. I mean, maybe he just wanted to put that out there, just to say to mark Luke's card a little bit. I mean,
you did. You used it as a stick to beat him.
Who, me?
Yeah, you and your poll.
Well, have you got the poll? I can read it out if you want.
No, I haven't got the poll. No, it's
far
far too early for live.
It's not far too. It isn't far too early. It isn't far too early. Now I give him 6 games. We had 39% said 6 games. 41% said get rid now. The bit I'm concerned about is I put 5 more years, and 10% of people agreed with it. What is that? Was Marcus on there? Was Marcus voting? Has he got my Twitter handle?
It was me.
It's you.
Us Lambert stick together, mate.
I do think Paul Lambert also needs to get going.
Yeah,
he needs to say that to himself with the mirror. He needs to get going a little bit as well,
The thing is, guys, I don't know Luke Wolfenden. I'm not even going to pretend to know Luke Wolfenden or anybody inside the camp.
Yeah.
I don't know what motivates Luke Wolfenden. I don't know what his training stats are showing. I don't know anything about that because I'm not in there. Paul Lambert does. If his stats are different to last year, if he is maybe more laid back, maybe he's thinking he's arrived, any number of things, Paul Lambert knows that man better than I do. So Paul Lambert knows what it takes to get the most out of Luke Wolfenden. Yeah. I don't. Okay, we may laugh at Paul Lambert and say, oh, Borussia Dortmund or this or that. He's done it. He's been there. He knows what it takes to play at the highest level.
What about manage? What about manage at the highest level? Well, because since Norwich,
what do you want? Is Norwich his championship medal? What do you want?
Because I don't care about that. I don't care about what he's done. I'm concerned about what he's doing now and the noises he's making. It doesn't fill me. Social media, I think that's an important gauge. If you look at social media, yesterday, look, it's a pre-season friendly, but it was like we'd lost the Champions League final. It shows how thin. It's all right him coming in, and I see Stuart Taylor was saying about we've got back in the community and all this. Yeah, they brought that back. I agree with that, but it's results on the football pitch that are going to count what happens this season with Paul Lambert, and 3 defeats in pre-season, 1 goal, still not knowing his best 11. He might know his best 11, but like we said before, I think Martin likes this, the proof is in the pudding. That is what it's going to be.
I was happy to see all the fire on Twitter yesterday. This is the same fan base that clapped everyone off for getting relegated. Remember?
Yeah.
Look what happened. I posted a picture yesterday when Hamburg got relegated. They threw fire on the pitch. So I want to see a little bit of passion from the Town fans. It's not good enough. We've said it before. Our mindset has to be with raised expectations. We are not a 3rd-tier club. We are not a 3rd-tier club, and we're in the 3rd tier. We need to get out of this division, and we need the mindset to get out of it. We've not seen the mindset in pre-season yet.
Well, to say about the mindset, I like Flynn Downs' comments. It's the first time I've seen someone come out being positive what they say, not downcast and, oh, yeah, you don't know. Like Lambert won't come out and admit that we want to finish in the top 2.
No.
Flynn Downs basically said, yeah, that's what we got to do. Anything else is not good enough. That's what I'm saying. Top 2. Top 2. We have to finish in the top 2.
We've got somebody who's asked for a link. Fantastic. It's Mr. Jordan Huckley, Lionel Richie himself. Welcome in, my friend. How you doing?
Boys, all right. How are we?
We're very well.
Good, mate. Good.
What are you saying, Jordan? What are you saying?
What am I saying? is that Lambert can't come out after his captain's been absolutely shredded to pieces against West Ham, and then out our best defender, ball playing best defender. It's a dangerous game. It's a very dangerous game he's playing there. I get that they're trying to, I don't know if he's just trying to get some sort of reaction out of him, but with the salary cap in, I don't know why you're rustling feathers 2 weeks before the season starts. And Luke Wolfenden did react to it, and I've got the screenshot of the tweet that he did. I don't know if others saw it and whatever else.
No, I've not seen it.
Yeah,
it's clearly a reaction to what Lambert had said and whatever else. It weren't nothing bad, but he'd obviously seen it.
So your captain makes a mistake, and he basically said, "Oh, that's all right. You know, he won't do it when the real football starts."
He had his absolute pants pulled down against West Ham. Let's be honest. He might as well be non-existent, mate. It'd have done less damage. I just think you're playing such a dangerous game, because now if Luke Wolfenden doesn't seem like that sort of player to really kick up a stink. But if he wants to now, because you're going to find it hard to replace a player like that in this salary cap now, you've got no chance. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's absolute madness. I don't know. I don't know what his game plan is. We heard the whole photo call thing. I did think it was a bit exaggerated how they turned up at Portman Road and then didn't get in the photo call. Do you know what I mean? Some of it's a bit.
Well, that wasn't technically true, was it? Wasn't that reported last night?
Yeah, that's
Matt?
what I mean. I thought it was exaggerated anyway. I can't. I mean, there's harsh, and then there's just being an idiot. Do you know what I mean? As for the young lads,
I tell you what, Jordan. I don't know why the ADT ran that story, because it sounds to me, look, they've not had any presence. The only presence they've had at Ipswich is Portman Road on whenever it was Tuesday, Wednesday when we played West Ham. So they must have just been given like a little. Have you heard?
Who's whispering? Who's whispering? Someone's whispering, isn't they?
He's whispering. Yeah.
I think they have got insiders and that, but stuff like that are such a petty sort of thing that what's the point of running a story like that, really? Unless you've got facts and unless you've spoken to an actual player, I wouldn't have touched it.
And to be honest, Jordan, I agree with them not being in that team picture.
Some of them. I do think, like Brett McGavin, really, I feel for him because he's been chopped twice. Chopped twice, but he hasn't really done enough to be in a first team photo yet. I do agree with that. And Stuart Taylor was right yesterday in what he said. If you included every player in every club,
exactly.
People could say, what have the management done to be in it?
Well, no, I agree, mate.
You could say that.
You could look at some of the first team squad. Like, I mean, I really like it. I've got a bit of a soft spot for John Nolan. I completely see why people haven't, though. But really, what's he done to be in a first team squad photo? Like,
he's got good running stats. He's good at a 5K. He's great.
We're going there, are we?
I like John Nolan. Matt don't like John Nolan. I rate John Nolan, but at the minute, I'm a little bit. Where'd you put him?
Yeah,
not in the first team.
The start of the season, last season, he was very good. His footwork and that in the centre of the park, away at Fleetwood, I think he was. I thought he was outstanding on the day, but then
he's had a few injuries, hasn't he? He's another one. We get too many. We get too many injuries.
Yeah, it's a hard one, really.
He did okay in the latter stages of the championship until he got injured. You know, he scored that nice goal at Birmingham, wasn't it, early doors? But he scored that header at West Brom. Do you remember the header at West Brom? That's good.
Hell of a header that was. I think he scored against Derby at home as well, where he lashed it into the bottom corner. I just like I said, I just think Lambert's playing a silly game. I don't know if it's just mind games that he's trying to play, but I think it's the wrong time to be playing them when he's
not got a lot of credit in the bank, has he, to be doing that sort of stuff?
He's got supporters on a thread at the moment. It's not the sort of thing, because he's a liked player as well, Luke Wolfenden is, but he's one of our own sort of thing, and he'll always have it over like a chamber or anything like that when it comes to fans, I believe anyway. But like I say, replacing a player like him will cost you millions at the moment, absolutely millions, not just in transfer fees, but wages as well. And unfortunately, as proven, we ain't got that.
Exactly. I mean, just going back to your point, I mean, I agreed with those players not being in there, because I think out of the 5, they've made about 2 starts between them. Last season.
Yeah, but it's a bit weird that Dobber and El Mazzoni got squad numbers. The other 3 haven't.
Yeah, I mean, that's the counter argument here. If you've got a squad number, then maybe you should be in the picture. But I was going to say, I travelled in one of my previous jobs. I travelled a lot with the England youth teams. You would not believe how much young players are cotton-wooled. You can't talk to them. They can't talk to the media. They can't do anything other than eat, sleep, and play the game.
Look, I agree there with Coxie saying injuries already.
Sorry, yeah, you had that thing with Kieran Dyer recently where he did that 4 holes with tubes off Soccer AM.
Yeah.
And he said he was involved in the under-18s, but it just had enough purely on the basis that, like, some of their agents were going up to him asking them for, like, agent fees and boot deals and whatever else.
Too much. Yeah, right, Jordan. It's too much too soon. I'll float 2 names out there. Do you remember John Bostock made his debut at Palace?
Yeah.
Went from like £1 million to Spurs, dropped right off the radar. I knew John for a spell. Travelled with him and that. Lovely lad, but he dropped off the radar. Jose Baxter was supposed to be the next Wayne Rooney at Everton.
Yeah,
he's now playing in the 2nd tier of the MLS for Memphis.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's
crazy. You have to be so careful with these young lads because they could go either way. They could either hit the heights or they could go rock bottom.
No, I completely agree, lads. I completely agree. But yeah, that's my gripe for this week, really.
Perfect. We love it.
It's good to see some action, really. We were awful against Cambridge. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely
it sounded terrible, didn't it? It sounded terrible.
I know it's only pre-season, but it was toilet, wasn't it?
It's been kind.
Toilet. Cheers. Right. So are we going to go to Media Mogul story now?
Yep. Let's do it.
Cheers, Jordan.
Cheers.
Well, here we go. I mean, I've been changing this by the hour since about Friday, but I've decided to go with the team sheet that was posted by Andy Warren of the ADT yesterday on Twitter. And it had down on it Tommy Smith, 2.0 version, of course. The other one's gone to Colchester, as captain. And then as Stuart said in the ADT today, didn't really seem to be a captain. No one really knew what was going on. And they had to look very carefully to see who the skipper was because there was no Skews, there was no Chambers, there was no Stephen Ward, who got the captain's armband in the first game at Colchester. It turned out Emery Hughes had it. But again,
Hughes?
Yeah, that's what Stu said, had the armband on in the first half. But again, it goes back to this argument we've been having, well, not an argument, a debate we've been having since the pod started. Where are the leaders? And Stu said that you could quite clearly hear David Cornell, or Di Cornell, as he's known, shouting at the defensive midfield, no voices. So again, it comes back to this, where's the leadership when we haven't got those key players there? And this is my worry again. It goes back into this mindset. What is the mindset going into the new season? That's why we feel unprepared. We feel undercooked. We're not putting in good performances at Cambridge. It's just that the leadership isn't there.
Right. So it's funny you say that, Max. I've got a question from Katie Ling.
Oh, cool.
Regards to this, who do you guys see as the next Ipswich Town captain? Chambers, Scouse and Ward have all got a year left at best. With the salary cap, it's unlikely we can buy in good experience. So who takes the armband and who should be developed as a future captain?
Well, it's a
great point. Well, yeah, Flynn.
Yeah.
Flynn's the goat. Yeah, the goat. But then,
yeah.
But
I mean, who's coming under there? Alan Judge?
No, wouldn't be in the team. Giselle has been captain of England Youth.
He doesn't seem the most vocal of characters, I have to say, but maybe.
I think leadership emerges. I don't think you can anoint somebody. I think it emerges. Whether you like Luke Chambers or not, he is the alpha male of the dressing room because he's that type of personality and people radiate to him. Whenever I've been to awards evenings that they hold at the club for fans to go to, you can always see players look up to Chambo and players radiate towards Chambers.
Yeah. Players
are that or they're not. I've always been a captain in every club I've been at, probably for the same sort of reasons. And I'm sure, Rich, you've seen it throughout, from young boys football through to men.
Yeah, definitely.
It emerges. Flynn Downs is a great player. He reminds me more of a Matty Holland sort of leader. His play does his talking.
Yes.
He doesn't strike me as off the pitch. I don't know him, so I don't know. But his play does his talking. It's very difficult to say who could be a captain of the future. Jack Lancaster, for example, is a great player, emerging talent. We don't know if he could be the captain of material. It's one of those things. It just emerges. It's interesting there was no captain yesterday at all, though, because I know Arsenal last year flirted with under Unai Emery with the no captain situation.
Really?
Yeah, at times they did. It's one of those.
Might explain their lowly league position then.
Me, I'm an old-fashioned guy. Give me a Tony Adams sort of captain, front and central, captain of the club, move it forward. Dozell is another name that I've seen it in the mentions, not for a captain, but again, if he hits the ground running this year and we move forward.
His dad was captain when he met a few times. I remember when David Linnigan was didn't play. Jason got the armband, so I don't know. But then that's a lot of. He's got to nail down a spot in the team first and foremost,
Exactly.
doesn't he? Like a lot of them have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
It does highlight that worrying lack of leaders. I mean, whether Hughes is going to be captain material going forward, I don't know. But he supposedly wore the armband yesterday. But it was the little touches with Matt Holland, wasn't it? He used to just run around the pitch, win, lose, or draw. Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Good point there from Zach. You need leaders all over, and I totally agree with that. But we haven't got them, have we? We haven't got them, have we?
Well, Zach knows his onions. He's proven that on Twitter. Good old Zach, and he's spot on there, as you say, Rich. And we maybe haven't got them. I mean, we're not. It's not live bullets. Let's just calm down. It's not live bullets. Players, sometimes some players go through the motions in pre-season. Other players look really good in pre-season, and then you start competitive football, and you think, well, where's that player gone? It's not live bullets. Come next week, that's when we start judging. And I like to go into a season with a clean slate, but not a blank memory. Not a blank memory.
Yeah.
Lambert last year didn't end well. This year, it's turbulent, but I've seen turbulent starts blossom into fantastic years. I've seen turbulent starts fall into absolute despair within, 120 minutes of football or whatever. It's just one of those things. It's not time to press the panic button, but it's time to be aware that Saturday is a key fixture already. Not because you want to win it, but because you want to see a manager with a style.
I think you need to win it. I think you need a win. I think it's an important game.
Oh, yeah.
And I know, look, we're not going to win the Carabao Cup. We could probably get 2 or 3 rounds, but it's important that he nails down that starting 11 and they put a performance in, going forward to the next game. And I think that's a really important game, because if we turn up Saturday and we play poorly like we did against Cambridge and we lose the game, you know what the reaction will be.
Yeah. It's going to be more fire, isn't it? It would be great to have a nice little cup run, and we might. Who knows where we might pull out? Premier League team or something, just to get the fans, just give something the fans to look forward to. We've had nothing. Have we?
Yeah, I think winning's a habit, isn't it? And you've got to get into that habit now.
Yeah.
You've had the tests that Paul Lambert wanted with West Ham and Tottenham. Cambridge shouldn't have presented the test it did, but it did for whatever reason, and he went with the lineup he did. But obviously, Bristol Rovers coming up is big. Let's play Stuart Taylor, and then we'll get into my takeaway. Where is he? There he is, on Ollie Hawkins.
Yeah, I thought he done well. Exactly what we expected from him in terms of being that presence up top. Great work ethic and looks to go and link up as well. But he gives us that threat in the box, which we didn't do enough of today. We got balls in wider areas, but we didn't have enough of the balls turning into crosses into the box for him to go and get the end of it. So that's something that we've obviously spoke about and we need to work on. That's what pre-season's all about, is giving everybody as much equal time and minutes as possible on the pitch. Training's been really good, but it doesn't get close to having minutes on the pitch. So that's what today's outing was all about. The games that we have played and try and spread that across everybody, which we managed to do.
Lambert's takeaway. Right, before we get into this takeaway, Matt, I want to tell you about my dinner tonight, right? It's a chicken burger. I've got lettuce, I've got a beautiful bun, and I've got plenty of mayonnaise. Have you had any decent burgers this week?
No, because I was in London. I went to a couple of pizza restaurants, so I've ruined your analogy there, haven't I? Sorry.
Pizza restaurants? Burgers, man. Burgers. I'm talking burgers. Great. Anyway, I'm talking burgers because, like a good burger, as I said last week, you've got to have the right ingredients, the lettuce, the mayo, the chicken. Hey, Bird's Eye's chicken shop for dinner. That is like a takeaway. I'll just throw that out there. Ollie Hawkins there. You heard Stuart Taylor on Ollie Hawkins.
Easy for you to say.
Not really. Had a few sherbets already. It's only 2:10. Yesterday, he did okay, from what I can gather.
Yeah. Deft touches, apparently, according to
Did he highlight a major issue in our squad? We have no pace. So we've brought in a player who is a space eater, but we've got nobody who can go on beyond the space eater and exploit it. Look at Cambridge's goal. Perfect counter, goal, pace. Do we have the necessary pace to have a space eater like Ollie Hawkins?
Would Cambridge have scored that goal if Kane Vincent-Young had been on the right-hand side?
Potentially not. But in a situation where Cornell's lumped it long to Hawkins, and let's face it, Plan B is lump it long to Hawkins, right?
Yeah.
So in a situation where we've lumped it along to Hawkins, is KVY going to be the player getting beyond Hawkins? No, he's not. He's not Usain Bolt. He's not going to, run that distance in that length of time. So have we got the attacking players to support a space eater like Hawkins?
Well, I'd like to think so. I mean, whether or not Sears has lost a yard of pace after his injury, I don't know. But I mean, that's the reason why. So they brought him in, hold the ball up. He's almost like a non-goal scoring striker, isn't he? He holds the ball up top, and everyone, that's what they used to call Frank Nubler, a non-goal scoring striker. They got that right. He holds the ball up, and you're feeding it off. I would like to think that Kane Vincent-Young, in whatever role he's going to play, he could even still play a wing-back role, of course, see how the season goes, could get in there and either create or score himself. But, I think we'll need Richard's youthful midfield to help come in there and support, I think.
It was interesting when he played at Portsmouth. He had Curtis one side, didn't he, and Lowe the other.
Yeah.
And the guy who come on said they were top of the league.
Pace.
Up till Christmas.
Pace. Yeah.
But would you say, look, Caden Jackson, someone on Twitter yesterday said Mickey Stockwell was quicker than Caden Jackson.
Harsh.
Yeah.
Harsh. Very harsh. But Alan Judge yesterday played left of a three-man. No, but he played left of a three-man central attacking option. He's a very good player in my book, good on the ball. But is he going to be a threat with his legs if you're a centre half, Rich?
No, but I was reading yesterday. He was playing on the left, but then he was everywhere else, wasn't he? And this is the problem when he plays out there, he wanders all over the show, and then your left back's exposed.
Yeah,
he'd be one. Thinking of that, thinking of the salary cap and that, and looking to maybe get an extra body in, because it said that we're at the limit at the minute. I'll be looking to move someone like Judge on. He's obviously on high wages. I wouldn't be averse to, if someone come in and was interested, getting him out the door.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with it. I think Judge, when he's on form in this league, is going to rip it up. But
we said that last season.
Well, it's going to be a formation thing, isn't it? Like if you're going to play Ollie Hawkins, I wouldn't play Alan Judge. It'd rule him out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It would rule him out. It would rule in someone like Guion Edwards, Freddie Sears, Armando Dobra, those sort of players that are going to exploit space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you've got, especially if you're playing someone like Bishop or Hughes or Dozell in midfield, you've got people who can thread the needle. You've got people who can play. So you don't need someone else like Judge who can play. You just need somebody else. Lancaster's another name next to Hawkins. You've got to surround him with lots of pace and lots of ability that threaten teams and make centre halves like Suter last year at Fleetwood. Great defender, but is he quick on the floor? Probably not. So get around him.
So what do we do? What do we do against Suter? Kept whacking it up to his head, didn't we? 6 times on the trot. That says to me, what are we doing?
Well, that's
it was funny, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was funny, wasn't it?
But that's what Hawkins is brought in to do, isn't it? He's there to occupy centre halves like Suter.
Is he going to be a starter, though? Will he be a starter, Martin?
No, he's a plan B option. He's away from home. He's at Oxford away from home on a Tuesday night when it's wind and rain. He's up the top on his own. And you're going to read a lot of times, ball is not long to
smash long. So where's this new style of football then? I know you've got to have more than one plan, but I was listening to the commentary yesterday, and it's like when you have that big man up top, it's all too easy, isn't it? James Wilson a couple of times just lofted it sort of aimlessly over his head. It's too easy to try and hit him.
Yeah. It definitely is. Yeah.
About judges now, I'm starting to think, will Warburton come back for Judge at QPR? They've sold the boy Eze, haven't they, to Palace for 16 mil? Would they come back for him?
I think Adam Flatt is it's his opinion, obviously, but it's football intelligence. That's a little bit of something. You've got some intelligence in there with Dozell, with Bishop, with Lancaster, but some players do maybe lack the ability to read. But it's about chemistry, isn't it? We're not yet getting that. But
this is what I'm saying. This is what you say about chemistry. This is why next Saturday we need to play as close to that starting 11 as we can. If players have got a little knock, you're not going to risk them. But we need to start. We're getting them partnerships together. Down your right hand side, Vincent Young and interesting. I was listening to Stuart Taylor when he was on about Kane Vincent Young. He's got a bit of an Achilles injury due to the hard grounds. I'm thinking, where's he been training down the Rec? These pitches are manicured. They've got sprinkler systems everywhere. I'm not buying that excuse.
Is there more than
meets the eye with him?
No.
What What made me chuckle there was where Stuart Taylor said, "Oh well, the performances don't. The results don't matter. It's all about the performances." Well, why is Stuart Taylor doing the media then? Why can't Lambert go out and face everybody again?
Do you know what? I've got to be careful what I say here, but I don't think there's. I don't think the relation. I don't know. I'm not going to say it. I'm not even going to go there. As a can of worms, I do not want. Richard, what do you think?
I'm going to throw it back to Matt.
Well, I'll say it then. Are we thinking that there's something frosty between the club and the newspaper?
Do we? Well,
are we speculating that could be a scenario?
Well, it seems a bit strange, doesn't it? After the Alan Quinn interview, that was canned, wasn't it? That was canned.
Yeah,
it's just a bit odd, isn't it?
We know the East Anglin's been working on skeleton stuff as well, because Stu said that he was now back from furlough, so they've been working on skeleton stuff as well to try and keep content generating over. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed the Quinn interviews. You know, I know you did as well, Rich. Just for some of the comments. But
he's dirt. He's dirt.
You know, the guys are good at their job. Somehow that got through the filter system. Maybe it's because people were on furlough and they pulled it down really quickly. But maybe that upset the club. Maybe. We don't know.
Obviously, yesterday there's a retraction, but there's not a retraction.
No, still sticking to his story. He basically said, don't
you know, they're great. Look, Stuart Watson, Andy Warren, Mark Heath, great team. Make a good podcast. Wow,
but
talking down sounds something else that's positive. But you think individually they're all good. They're all good journalists.
But you think, Martin, they do get away. The club get away with it easy, don't they? If this was certain other papers, they'd be hammering the club. It's very, very easy. They get away with it easy. Let's not.
It does feel like an easy ride. Yeah, it does.
Talking about Stuart Taylor,
it's how we start with the season, though.
But talking about Stuart Taylor there and bringing it back round to what we can talk about in facts and things, he says a good run out for players. He's right, though, isn't he? It's pre-season. There's no need to smash the panic button, as I said previously.
Is it a good run out?
I think so. As he said, we know it's an easy decision for Paul Lambert. If you've got a big squad and players aren't performing, it's an easy decision.
One shot on target.
So exactly. So who yesterday stood out and said, "Hello, boss"?
No one.
Pick me.
They've made it easy, haven't they? They've made it easy for the manager now.
Isn't that just typical Ipswich of the last few seasons? No one ever really kind of steps up. And that's why the fans get frustrated, and that's why then they start to take to Twitter and say, why aren't we doing X, Y, and Z, and why are we not playing in this style? It just seems to be this malaise we always seem to be in.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm
sick of it, quite frankly. Get into the mindset I want.
I'm not panicking. That's what I'm going to say. Coxey says, Rich, we the fans let the club off easily, not just the press. I agree 110%.
We clapped them off when they got relegated, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the press get an unfair hammering sometimes. I think, could they make life a little bit more uncomfortable? Potentially. But equally, they do hold them to a light.
It's right what you just said there, Matt. It's a malaise, isn't it? And I think in the end, a lot of supporters, you just think, oh, look, this is the way it is, you know?
Yeah, don't think like that. We're still Ipswich. We keep saying it. Look at the statues outside. The beat's coming. We've got a third statue coming. We've got a great stadium. We have got a good fan base. We're still a big club. Don't forget that.
That is a lovely segue because, guys, can you please go to sorefeet.live for more information, including how to donate to a great event. Sore Feet for the Beat. Fantastic guy, fantastic cause.
Shout out Malcolm.
Yeah, Malcolm. That's the name I was trying to search for. Thank you ever so much, Malcolm, doing a fantastic thing for the Beat.
And a fan of the show as well.
Yes, well, we do have a few.
Melinda Messenger's fan of the show now, Matt.
Yes.
Be still my beating heart. Be still. Okay, guys.
At the end of the season.
I've got a question for you. Who are you most looking forward to seeing progress this year? Okay, now before you say any answers, I've got 4 options. All right, so who are you most looking forward to seeing progress? You have got Andre Dozel, Kane Vincent-Young, Jack Lancaster, or Idris El Muzani. Rich?
Well, I'll go in, Rich. You go first, mate.
Look,
Dozel.
No, big fan of him. Jack Lancaster. Massive season ahead for him. Talented. He's obviously had 2 real bad back injuries. But look, I want to see him in the team. When the 12th of September, 13th, it's on the Sunday now. I want to see him in that team come 12 o'clock on that first day of the season. And I want to see a bit of belief, not just in him, but some of the young players from the manager. You know, the manager will get a lot more leeway with the fans if he plays our own. You know, and if you're playing him, don't play a Freddie Sears. You know, don't play a Guion Edwards. Let's get him in with the midfield as well. Them three. Don't play a Cole Scouse. John Nolan, look, I'm a fan of him. Don't play him. Stick the youngsters in, believe in them, and you might just get somewhere. You know, show a bit of faith, a bit of continuity. I'm excited down that right-hand side. You got Vincent Young on the right, at right back. Jack on the right-hand side of the front three. I think they could work really well together, you know. Yeah. I honestly think it's a big season for Jack. I speak to his dad quite often, so I might be a bit biased. But
name drop.
Not like Matt's. No, Matt's the name dropper. But
Matt, your turn. Matt, your turn. Rich, you've had your say. Matt, your turn.
Well, it's a great shout with Jack. I'm looking forward to seeing him as well. El Mazzuni, I think, is going to go on loan. I don't know. I've just got this feeling. In fact, it would not surprise me if all the 5 players that are not in the photo could all well go on loan. Maybe Dobrin not, but we'll see. Yeah, well, you know, I love Kane Vincent-Young. I think he's fantastic. I loved his 9 appearances for us last season. It's attacking threat. We've just been moaning. We've got no pace in the team. He brings it. You know, I still don't think it's out of the realms of possibility if he suddenly finds himself in a wing-backish role that he could score double figures for us. I'm sticking by it. Oh, at least.
I'll tell you what. I'll have a bet. I'll have a bet with you, 20 quid, that he doesn't score 10 goals.
In all competitions?
No, we're on about the league. Don't worry about.
We'll pick this up. What's that?
If he gets 10 assists and 5 goals, I'll take that.
But he scored 2 goals in his 9 appearances. It just seems to me that if he can get forward, he will score. But yeah, I just hope we can keep him fit because I think he brings so much to the team. And I don't think it's out of the realm. You know, I don't think it's any coincidence that the dip started when he got injured and never came back again.
So fair enough. That's the fair. I would have said Kane Vincent-Young as well because I want to see if he can consistently carry on over the course of a season. You know, playing 9 games and lighting it up is one thing. Playing 46 and doing the same thing is another. That requires obviously momentum, and obviously he's carrying a bit of an injury already, and that's a worry.
That's the worry. Yeah, that is the worry.
I'll go for Andre Dozel because it's a player I've often said it's not quite ready for the first team. So I want to see Andre Dozel come into the team, and when he comes into the team, take his opportunities, be smarter in making his decisions on the ball, so less sloppy around their 18-yard box. Because like yesterday, if you allow a team to counter on us, we're not going to be able to deal with it. I know yesterday some of the first team players weren't playing, but even if Chambers and Wolfenden and co were playing, I'm not seeing a sudden burst of pace from anywhere.
That Paul Mullin, he's in his 30s. He's an oldie, and he absolutely skinned Tommy Smith, didn't he?
He did, but that's a young player who's still learning, and obviously that's a training. I'm going to go for Andre Dozel, and I want to see, you know, like I say, smart decisions and some consistency from the lad. I think he's got bags and bags of ability, but I just think every time he's almost come into the first team. I mean, this isn't the ideal situation for Andre Dozel because you've got a manager, as you did with the previous one, who now is probably in survival mode, which is why you're seeing some of the motivational tactics coming out this year as opposed to last year, because he's now in survival mode. Yeah. Is he going to trust a young player who may be sloppy in possession, who may not be consistent, who may not be the finished article? I don't think he will. I think he's going to go for proven consistency. That's Cole Scouse. That's Finn Downs.
Don't think the fans will put up with that. If you're picking Scouse every week,
fans don't like him anyway. If
it's a results-driven business, isn't it?
Exactly. If I'm Paul Lambert, I'm going down on my sword. I'm not going down because Rich or Matt or Martin or Joe from Blue Monday or Rich from Blue Monday or Mark or whatever said you need to play this team. I'm going down because I'm picking the team I think is going to win the game. Simple as. Like Mick McCarthy, you've got to be boneheaded in this game, and I think he will be. Does that suit Andre Dozel?
He has a remit from Evans. We've got it in writing, haven't we? To give that youth an opportunity. Although, interestingly, it doesn't say when. So if our backs are to the wall to begin with, maybe we'll see them towards the end of the season. I don't know. There's no time frame on when youth is given that opportunity, is there? In Evans' statement.
No. So are we excited for Bristol Rovers to finish up?
Richard's bought his ticket already.
Yeah, got me match pass yesterday morning, 10 quid.
Yeah,
you know, I'm a mug, and I am. Look, it's going to be different this season because we're normally all getting excited, and we go to the first game. You know, you get your shirt on, the sun's shining, and it's going to be a little bit different this time because we're watching online. We're obviously going to do a show. Hopefully, everyone will tune in. But yeah, I am excited. I'm a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's up in the air, isn't it? Who's going to play on next Saturday? Who's going to be fit?
Yeah.
Look, we can all sit here and moan about Lambert, but we are all three massive Ipswich Town fans, and we want the club to do well. You know, I want Paul Lambert to do well. I want him to stick two fingers up at me at the end of the season and say, right, you didn't believe in me. I've won the league. I want that to happen. I don't want us to go out and lose.
Manager of the year.
That'd be brilliant if he was, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
It's interesting.
I believe in him.
It's interesting. Bristol Rovers also lost to Cardiff they played 4 35-minute segments against Cardiff and got done 2-1. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that game on Saturday. Yeah, absolutely. Get back to competitive action. Ed Upson is in that Bristol Rovers squad, won us the Youth Cup.
Yeah, he did.
So interesting to see if he plays. What was interesting for me yesterday on some of the timelines, we called this 6-8 weeks ago, Rich. Paul Cook was starting to get mentions on the.
Well, I see a lot of Paul Cook, didn't we? Yeah. A lot last night.
Yeah.
And then people saying, yeah, but would he come to Ipswich? Wouldn't he go for a higher job? Why would he not come to us? Why would he not come to us?
Why wouldn't he? Spent most of his career floating around League One. Started his
Wigan a bigger club than Ipswich? No. Are Portsmouth a bigger club than Ipswich? No. Yes. Chesterfield? No. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not.
A good friend of mine has worked with Paul Cook and said he's the most scouse man walking the earth.
I love his interviews at the end of the game when he's like real hoarse and his voice is just going.
More raspy than Sean Dyche, yeah. But interestingly, he's a more experienced manager than Paul Lambert. 671 games in his career, win percentage of 43.1. Lambert's just shy of 600 games. So he's a man who's been around the block, and he's a little bit older than Lambert as well. He's just not as big a name as Paul Lambert, or even managed in a higher, in the top flight or anything. But
I'm with Adam a little bit. Actually, no, I'm not. Sorry. No, I can't be nice. I'm not. I'm not with Adam at all. I am ready for this season. I am ready. It's go time, ladies and gentlemen. It is now or it is never. I still believe in Paul Lambert. I'm wearing my tinfoil hat, ready for the pelters coming my way. I still believe in him. He's done it elsewhere. I'm liking what I see with this motivational.
Does he believe in himself? Does he believe in himself?
I believe he does.
I'm sure he does.
You don't. I hope he does. Don't play for Borussia Dortmund without believing in yourself. I think he'll turn it around. I think we'll be pleasantly surprised. However, the leash is short. He knows it. We know it, and we will be here to hold him to account.
Absolutely.
And if things are not going well, you can come here and you can shout and you can scream, and we will shout and we will scream because we are passionate Town fans, and it's go time. It is go time. Live bullets are coming in from Saturday. No ifs, no buts, no excuses. It's time to go. It's time to get going. David Pascoe makes a great point. When is it ever time for Dozell? That's the problem. When you've got a young player and you've got managers that are, occasionally, come under threat. Previous manager, obviously Hirsch came under threat. Wasn't quite the situation. Is this now the situation? You've also got to look after young players. And I don't know if putting him in to a situation.
You can't keep saying that he's a young player anymore. He's been at the club for quite a long time now, and it is not just him, Teddy. It's now or never for these kids. Well, not kids. They're not kids no more. They. And I'll say it again.
Matt Gill in midfield.
They have to. I want a bit of faith shown in them. Yeah. Flynn, Andre, Teddy. There you go. You're playing the first 6 league games. Go and show me what you can do. Go and show the supporters what you can do, because I know you're a good player. Get out there and prove it on the pitch.
Okay. So let's bring it to a close. I'm just going to bring it to a close from a message from our good friend Steve Thompson. You're on the screen, so don't do anything silly.
Hi there, Steve here from the F1 Fan Show on the HDR Network. Just a reminder, join us at Monday evening, 8 p.m. Got the Belgian Grand Prix to review. Obviously, I'm recording this before the Belgian Grand Prix, so hopefully it's a nice race we can review and lots have happened. So we shall see you then. Get comfy, get a beverage, join us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Cheers, bye-bye.
He blew me off, right? He was going to come on the show, but he blew me off for a bloody race. What's all that about?
Got all bases covered on the HGR network, haven't we?
We certainly have. We certainly have. Right, let's close it up. So, who wants the last word? Last word on the Sunday. Who wants it? Who wants it?
Me.
Go for it.
Thomas Seggins. You called me out last week. I'm calling you out now. You know, under the thumb. You know, you're not even married, and you're not coming on your non-league show